Lupin and the gang versus Wangtek, a newfound security system. Who shall win? I know we have been through this song and dance before, but this is definitely on a whole other level. Welcome back to another discussion video. My name is Musical Joker, and today we're discussing episode 17, Win or Lose in 0.1 seconds. I'll just say that season 2 just keeps on giving, and although we're still in filler territory, I feel like season 2 has already surpassed season 1 in some regards. Also, a quick mention that I will be waiting to post about both episode 18 and 19 together in one video since they are a two-parter. So look forward to that. Click subscribe too so you'll be able to see when I make that video on it. To start, we see what Lupin does best. Try to infiltrate an area in disguise as an appraiser, but he swiftly gets caught as the system was able to detect it was Lupin in disguise, and Lupin had to run away, failing at his attempt of a heist. This further transforms into a challenge between Lupin and the company that created the security system called Wangtek Securities, which is headed by a former ICPO member, Ling Fang. Her sole goal was to create a security system named the Lupin system that would beat the great Lupin III. It detects more than just facial recognition. It analyzes skeletal structures, gestures, body movements, all of that kinds of stuff, and more. And that's just scratching the surface. She sends an invitation for him to steal a very expensive coin, which he plans on taking on. This is the best security system we've seen so far. And this isn't the only time we've seen something like this happen, where someone wants to best Lupin with his wits or with the security system. For example, like in part 5, Lupin had to try to beat a security system that would only open if you were the dumbest person ever. And he trained hard to be able to accomplish that, which he did, but also didn't beat. In this case though, Lupin ends up teaming up with the entire Lupin gang to synchronize themselves to disable 4 different backup generators in the building to be able to reach the safe after looking at the building's internals. If one went out, then it was game over, so they had to do it all at the same time, which it does show them do. I love the fact that this episode allows us to see the process and the hardships that come with attempting a dangerous and tricky heist such as this. It kept it interesting, especially since they couldn't just sync up together and they all just argued because of it. It keeps the group so dynamic, as we get to see Lupin pull off a heist successfully despite the hardships him and his crew have. It isn't just Lupin doing a heist and magically winning every time. This is stuff I just can't get enough of. To talk about Ling Fang, I assumed in the first episode of season 2 that a woman sitting in the auction must be Tomoe, but man was I dead wrong. I'm not really good at making predictions, huh? It was Ling Fang herself who must have been excited to see Lupin in action, as she was looking around heavily at the time. Quite surprising that this is her time to shine, especially what we learn from her later on in the episode, which is the reason why she created the system, to best him and beat the world's greatest thief, to make him pay for something he may have done to her before. Nope, she wanted to do this to beat Lupin and make him all hers, as she is in love and borderline obsessed with him, as we see a whole room or shrine dedicated to him with many posters, figurines, and a big poster of her and him together in holy matrimony. I'll be honest, that was such a huge shock in this episode, especially as it completely came out of left field. There was no build up for this and it was completely out of nowhere. But it was much appreciated to see someone do this because of how much they appreciate and love him compared to the many people that just wanted to beat him, to knock Lupin down a peg, or just want him dead. Her love for him began very young and is the main reason why she joined the ICPO, so she could get as much information about Lupin as she could. Again, borderline obsessive. Also, the Lupin system is really called the Lupin love system, not just the Lupin system. Not extremely important, but I felt like it was funny to include here. Oh, and speaking about the ICPO, we see our 2 favorite guys, Zenigata and Yada, make a small appearance once again to stop Lupin by telling Ling Fang to stop this, since Lupin is at his most dangerous when it comes to situations like these. To be honest, it's hard to talk about Zenigata and Yada since they make such minor appearances, which also can be considered as a bit of a negative. I'm patiently waiting for us to get a Zenigata/Yada only episode like how Goemon and Jigen got one, since I feel like we don't see them ever. Same with that one girl that was joining them on the first and 4th episode of season 2. Ari was her name, but doesn't really have much relevance yet. I still think she might come in later for some involvement with Tomoe, but I can be wrong again. Moving on from them, despite the hardships from the gang, we see that Lupin isn't all about this for the pride of being a thief or the reputation that he wants to uphold, but more so for the thrill of the chase. This is very reminiscent of Rebecca, so it seems like she rubbed off on him a little bit. He likes the fact that there are times where he's close to being caught and sent to jail. Those are the thrills he wants the most. This is all talked about during a discussion with Goemon after everyone decides to come back to finish off the heist, since everyone decided to quit earlier due to their frustrations. This overall conversation is nice since Lupin isn't so one-dimensional as people may think. There is more to Lupin as we have already seen so far thanks to the introduction to season 2 for Tomoe and how his relationship is built with her, but how he is humble for not caring about his own pride. In my opinion, I feel like that's extremely hard to do, as in any thief who knows that they can steal from anyone would never be even close to how humble Lupin is at this moment. They flaunt what they did and will always worry about their pride first, which makes Lupin stand out as one of the one and only greatest thief in the world. Sorry, Kaito kid. Well, now it is the night of the heist. Will Lupin steal the extremely expensive coin? Well, Ling Fang already believes victory will be hers, but boy, is she wrong. For a woman obsessed with Lupin, she should already know how this is going to turn out. Many issues pop up during the heist for her. Number 1 is that Lupin has set a game for anybody to come and steal the treasure alongside him by dressing up as any of the 4 members of the Lupin gang. Anyone who can steal it can keep the coin. Clearly, this isn't the main point, as number 2, it is to cause confusion amongst the security team despite the system being able to find out who is the real Lupin, Jigen, Goemon, and Fujiko. We see this firsthand when Ling Fang gives directions for a guard to capture Jigen, but he's too slow to realize him and only sees the fake ones. Despite the fancy technology, it is all thanks to human error. Even still, Ling Fang still hasn't admitted defeat. But here's the next problem. Number 3. They set up smoke screens in the main area so that although the system can see where they are, she can't see them for herself. As they make their way to the generators, she realizes that their targets are to destroy them, so she cuts the radio signal by jamming it. One quick thing to mention as a common appearance in this episode is the small ad of the security company Wangtik, which features them saying Wangtik over and over and leaving it saying Wangtik is number 1. Despite the communication being cut off, they use this to begin at the same time and destroy their generators simultaneously, without the radio contact. Very smart and very quick on the fly there, but that is to be expected from the Lupin gang. They succeed in stealing the coin, with Lupin complimenting and thanking Ling Fang, and disappears into the night before Ling Fang can mention anything about her feelings, knowing she may try again in the near future. Surprised at their efforts, they all drive away with the coin while being chased by Zenigata and Yada. Episode 17 may be one of my favorite fillers yet in part 6, as the security type plot that we've seen before was given a love twist which fits in line with season 2's narrative thanks to the teaser trailer. Again, it really caught me off guard when she had the whole room dedicated to Lupin and being his biggest admirer, having all those figurines and posters, since there hasn't really been anything like that at all. It was cute and more wholesome than the whole evil bad guy wanting to just kill or best Lupin. She attempted, failed, but succeeded in having Lupin not only recognize her for her attempt, but also getting him worked up for this attempt as well. On top of that, the whole process of the entire gang working on the heist was super fun and funny to see, since they all bantered amongst one another for who was too fast, who was too slow, or right in the middle with the button pressing, with Goemon especially just making suggestions that they should just match up with him. Alas, the Lupin love system failed in besting the man that it was created after, but I would definitely love to see another crack at this later down the line. I liked Ling Fang and her love for Lupin, and I think it'd be cute to see her again. But what do you guys think? Did you like episode 17 as well? Let me know down in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, farewell.